Welcome back everyone to another video of World of Warship Legends, and today we're going to be taking a look at gunboat commander builds for the United States line. Historically, we've been going one direction, mainly with Burke or Mordoff, but I kind of have an idea that we might be able to change things up and use some of these new commanders that Wargaming's been giving us. In the background here, we have a game of domination on Northern Waters, and we're going to be driving the USS Kidd. So in this game, I'm going to be using Shelly Beapley, one of the Stellar Clash commanders, and her typical build is that she's a commander for cruisers, but I think she can be very strong as a gunboat commander for this line. I'm using inspirations of Eric Bay and Troops. Inspirations I might mess around with a little bit later down the road, but these are the two I'm kind of going with for right now, just testing out how it goes. Historically, when it comes to the gunboat line, I would say that most people are either using Arleigh Burke or Vincent Mordoff, who was a Halloween commander from last year. Both of them have their strengths, and they are both very solid commanders. Mordoff brings down the reload time of your main battery. However, with the low amount of reload that's already on these ships, it's like 0.1 seconds, so it's a negligible amount, not that big of a deal. Burke, he does tighten the dispersion, or sorry, the shell grouping on your main battery for your destroyers. But I want to dig into some other details here. So with Burke, he has a 3.5 second reload, 11.7 kilometer range. That is the highest range I was able to get with these builds. HE has a max damage of 1674, the 7% fire chance. AP has max damage 2100, and then all commanders that I have with this build have a 122 second torp reload, and then Burke also has a 5.3 kilometer concealment, so it's very solid concealment for a gunboat. Taking a look at Mordoff, he has just like I said, 0.1 second better reload, so 3.4 seconds on the main battery reload. A little bit less on the range, 11 kilometers. HE max damage of 1800, 5% fire chance. AP has a max damage of 2100. That's also the same across all commanders. And then 122 second reload and the same concealment of 5.3 kilometers. Now, if I throw Beapley in here in these comparisons, let's take a look at her. She has a 3.5 second reload, so the same as Burke. 11 kilometer range, which is the same as Mordoff. HE max damage, she matches the highest amount, which is 1800. 7% fire chance, which is one of her key perks, because with Burke to get 7%, you have to select a legendary skill that lessens your HE shell damage. AP, same for all commanders, 2100 max damage per shell. And then the concealment is the one difference where Beapley takes it up to 5.7, so you have to lose 0.4 concealment. But the one major thing that Beapley offers is that you get an extra consumable of each type, which is such a huge advantage, especially in this ship where you get 3 heals, 3 smoke screens, and 3 engine boost. It can absolutely be a menace. The other thing that Beapley offers is that you get the indicator showing how many ships are aiming at you. Well, that may not be great. It is fairly strong in a gunboat. Say if I'm kiting away, I'm trying to stay at that 10 to 11 kilometer range from enemy ships. You know, if I see that 4 or 5 ships begin to aim at me, I'm going to let the guns go quiet and I'm going to go ahead and pull back. So I do like having that little bit of information. Just, you know, if I can get as much information input to know what the enemy is doing, that is absolutely a huge strength. The other one, the twist and track, that is one thing that Beapley offers. And this one also comes with increased incoming fire dispersion. So that's my other little stat that I'm really trying to build up with this, is I want to make sure that I know how many ships are aiming at me. I know what direction the closest ship is, and then when ships are shooting at me, I'm going to make it very difficult for them to hit with a decent rudder shift, decent top speed, but then also that incoming fire dispersion build is really going to be such a huge strength. So taking a look at this game now, we're about 6.5 minutes in, We see that the enemy team has almost exclusively gone over to sea, and so far it's paying off for them. We're down 2 ships. They've been able to take out 3 of our cruisers. But right now we're in a decent shape that we do have 2 of the caps. We're able to get the kill there on the Reichslu thanks to some torpedoes. And now this is where I think the gunboat in this build is really going to thrive. I see I have 1 ship aiming at me based on the direction of the Tirpitz guns. I'm assuming it's him. There we do get a 2nd ship and a 3rd ship. But I'm going away and I see that one of the ships is the Akatsuki. You can see I'm getting shot at from 2 different ships now. Still haven't taken a single point of health off of me. The engine boost is going. This is my first of 3 engine boosts. If I want to quicken the reload of these, that is one thing that Beapley offers since she has fully loaded. Basically, you just have to sail close to an friendly teammate, and basically that's going to significantly decrease the reload time of all of your consumables. So such a great perk. Here you can see we're just going to continue to rain down shells in this Tirpitz. They're going back and forth. Every now and then you can see they're aiming at us. We get 2, 3 ships aiming at us. And when I see that, I immediately turn away, try to really shrink the profile of the ship, just make it much more difficult for them to hit us. So far I've only used this build on the Kidd and Benson. I kind of want to get in, try it on the Fletcher, see how it works out. I have played about a dozen games in each ship with this build, and I think it's going to be one of the stronger unorthodox builds that I've ever had. Curious to hear if anyone else has used this commander this way before. So looking at this now, we see that the closest ship is still between us and sea. So we're going to go ahead and start pushing north. We have the guns quiet. Our detectability is at its lowest amount. We do know that the other ship out here is an Akatsuki. So there's a really good chance that unless they have a weird build going, they're going to outspot us, which is absolutely fine. As you can see there though, they were coming right at us, and this is where this ship is going to thrive. I'm not worried about them doing too much damage. I just need to worry about the torpedoes at this point. Go ahead, keep the guns going, and try to finish off the lone destroyer. This destroyer represents the biggest threat to our friendly team at this point. You can see the torpedoes coming in, and at this point I see that they're all behind us. We're good. Go ahead and get the kill, and now we have 2 battleships, 2 cruisers, and it's feeling pretty good. Like as a gunboat here, I can kind of just sit here and rain down. You can see right there, our Bismarck took out one of the cruisers, and the tides have turned rather quickly. And I do like to think that at least somewhat was thanks to our play over here. We were distracting the Tirpitz, getting it to fire salvos at us instead of firing at our cruisers and battleships that were just to the west of us. And that's another strength of this boat, is that basically I'm out here to distract the battleships. If I can get them to shoot a couple of salvos at me, great. I can go ahead and take a little bit of damage here. Colorado's facing my way, but they're not going to be able to do too much. The increased fire chance, we see that right there. Get another fire. A 7% fire chance just feels wrong on this boat with the number of shells that you can kick out. Just such a fun play to have. Colorado kind of sensing the end here. He's going to try to turn around and kite away. Unfortunately, our torpedoes aren't quite reloaded, but we're able to switch over to AP, start blasting the superstructure of this Colorado, and getting some good damage values, anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 per salvo. Very solid damage. Fortunately for him, he's also catching fire from our other cruisers and battleships just to the south and west, and he's not going to be very long for this world. Fortunately, his one teammate has abandoned him really far to the north. Overall, I think this is a fun build to run. I encourage you to try it out. Let me know what you think. If you have any other big brain builds, unique builds that you use, leave them below in the comments. It'd be interesting to go check them out. If If you have any questions, concerns, any other ideas you'd like to see in future videos, let me know those. Thank you all for tuning in again. We'll have a lot more videos coming at you shortly. If this is your first time coming to the channel, consider hitting subscribe. We'll see you next time.